Most kids go to school. Some are homeschooled. But there's a new trend where kids are unschooled. Now, in short, it means that the kids experience no classes. Instead, they're expected to follow their curiosity and explore ideas when they're so intrigued. Now, Akilah and Bethany, you both practice unschooling. Why?
Unschooling is focused on their kids' interests, so you use the interest as sort of like a gateway to open them up to other things. So we do it because we want our kids to understand personal leadership now and how they learn now and not have to wait until adulthood and not be sitting in a place for 6 hours a day.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 12 and 10.
Okay, and they don't they don't have to go to school?
They are not in a traditional school environment, but they are learning and they are educated and they are multilingual and they are amazing people who follow their curiosity and create structure from curiosity.
Yeah, I would have excelled in that type of...
See?
Yeah.
Bethany?
Yeah, we do the same thing. We started originally homeschooling with a curriculum. It was like an online charter school, and my daughter was like learning all the regular lessons, like Common Core and everything, and she started to get really frustrated. She went from like this 4-year-old who loved learning because I just did her own thing with her to someone who was like crying in tears and telling me, "Mommy, I'm not smart." And for me, I didn't understand my daughter at first because I was always good with tests. I was good with reading. That was where I excelled. But I realized with her, I was gonna have to try something different. And since then, she's become more free to explore. She enjoys learning again. You know, when she's ready to read, I will teach her how to read when that's her goal. But the core of
How
what you're
old
doing-
is your daughter?
She's still 5. She's still young. She's okay. I mean,
can't read?
But no, she can't read. We read to her all the time. We read books together.
So
but
you teach her everything that she learns?
no, yeah. I mean, I teach her. I help her find the resources because ultimately, as an
Right.
adult, that's what you need. You need to know what you want and how to achieve it.
Yes,
that's
and
the
how to
base.
manage
she know what
yourself.
That's what you need.
So if she never
She's not
wants to
saying
learn
she
how to
knows what she
read
wants
and
now.
she's
Yeah.
12, 15 years old and she's like, I still don't want to learn how to read. I just
Right.
want to trace
She
these
will
letters.
want to
You fine
learn.
with that?
That rarely ever happens. See,
you know,
learning
But
is a
it
very
happens,
natural-
right?
I don't know of any
happened.
situations
I've never
where it
faced
happens.
that
Do you?
situation.
No, I just heard this on schooling.
I've
Right.
never heard
I mean,
of
that's something I'm
But it
totally
sounds like
against.
you've already
Want
made a
to learn
decision
how to
about
read.
what it is without the information, which is kind of what school does. It puts us in these little boxes to say, for an hour, you learn this.
From what
For
I
another
understand,
hour,
you're
you
telling
learn
me you
this.
teach 'em
Well, I'm
everything
gonna
they
tell
learn,
you,
right?
let me finish what it is, what it
help them
actually
find
is.
the resources.
So you do actually use books. There are some unschoolers. My daughters, for example, learned how to read very early. That's their interest. They were interested in that. Now they speak, again, for example, languages that I don't even know, just from their own curiosity.
How
It's
you know
just
they
this
speak them
idea.
right?
Because we know other people who
said
speak
you
the
don't know.
language. Because other people speak the language. Yeah.
My bad.
And because there's a thing called Google Translate. So again, it's about finding the resources, and then from there it takes her, because you can't do
Okay.
that without language
Your
arts
daughter
or math.
sounds very smart.
Right.
My daughter is not interested in learning at all. I understand the style and all this, but they need a guide. My daughter is not going. Any of my daughters are not going to know what they want to learn if I don't present things to them.
We
I
do that.
homeschool
You
too.
do present.
I don't
But I have a
homeschool.
curriculum.
Yeah, I don't homeschool, I unschool. And the idea that
Yeah,
kids
there's
will not
definitely a
learn
difference.
unless you give them information, that even just biologically, that
Listen,
it's the
at the
opposite
end of the day,
that.
I'm old school. Hey, I got 6 children. I wasn't able to go to college. I didn't walk across that stage. So as a parent, my goal is stay in school, get your education, be able to walk across that stage and be something of your size.
I'm not anti-school at all. I'm pro-learning. And some children, correct me if I'm wrong, are in school and they're not learning. So I'm just saying, look at the things that might work for your
That
child.
doesn't mean take them home, though, and let them decide
Right.
for themselves.
Yeah.
They've got to have structure. Now, I will
They
agree
become
with the
a more
point that in our
well-functioning
public
adult, though, if
schools,
they know
some
how
of
to
it
make their
is
own
not
decisions.
working,
Right.
and some children have to learn outside the box. That's the issue, not taking them out of the school and out of the structure.
I think if you knew more about it, because my kids were in school.
Like, how much do you even remember?
And while I do not,
Right.
How
I
much
don't
do
do
you
the
even remember
unschooling, but
from
my
your
kids have been
elementary
both in
school?
traditional and
Like
Montessori.
nothing.
And Montessori is very much follow the child, because each child's brain develops differently at
Yep.
different stages. And what's sad to me is when you're in a traditional setting, I volunteer in the classroom often, and sometimes I see these kids that either have a difficult time learning because they can't learn it at the same pace as everyone else, or they don't have the support at home. These kids feel ostracized and feel stupid because they're pulled out. And it breaks my heart. It's not that they're stupid. It's because they learn things, different concepts
Yes.
at different times. So I understand what they're doing here with the self-motivation and finding what works. We want to instill in our children through our example as parents that we are curious and interested in the world. And if we are curious and interested in the world, we can instill that with them and they can be self-motivated.
I think it's okay. Now this is a subject here. First of all, there's a lack of understanding on both sides of this issue. I've never heard of unschooling until today.
Yeah.
So quite naturally, I just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with homeschooling. My kids were homeschooled the last two because of my schedule. If I didn't homeschool them, I would have never seen them. But I was in a different economic position. I was able to hire two full-time teachers that travel with us everywhere.
Yeah.
Everybody can't do that.
Right.
So if you're just a working person, I don't know if you can do unschooling because you got to go to work. Especially if you're a single parent, you got to go to work. So how many people in our audience would consider unschooling their kids? That was the question. 26% of you said you'd consider unschooling. 74% said you wouldn't. I just think, we're gonna move along, but I just think the name unschooling kind of throws people a little bit. I think y'all got to come up with another title
I agree. That
for
was
this damn
John
name.
Colton in the
Yeah, because it sounds like you teach them a
Unschooled.
lot, but
Yeah.
that unschooling, that sounds
Yeah.
like just, hey, come on
I
out.
agree with
Whenever
you.
you're ready.
I agree with
Because you smart
Right.
as hell. See, you too much for me. If I felt like I was in class,
Ironically, right?
Man, I was sitting. Yeah, I was actually learning something. Hey, folks, welcome. Thanks for checking out my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click here to subscribe to my channel. That way, you won't miss a single hot new video. Some really good stuff. And then I want you to click here to see more clips from the show right now.